Welcome back, everybody, to the Blazing Overture and talking about episode 4 of Book of Boba Fett. And yeah, another, I guess, sort of action-packed episode, I guess, if you will. A little more flashbacks, of course, right?
Yeah, we got more flashbacks. We got to see that he was the person who came up upon Fennec Shand after she was left for dead in the Mandalorian there. And
Yeah.
we seen that he took her to yet another, we'll call it a chop shop, like a mod shop.
Yeah.
I won't lie, it's another part of this series that I absolutely hated. Not as bad as the Power Rangers bikes, but
Yeah.
but I don't care for the some of the stuff that they're doing with the show. They're taking in some weird
Almost,
directions. Like there's just some weird stuff that doesn't look Star Wars, you know.
yeah. Almost like it was too futuristic or something. Like, remind me of something like you out of Back to the Future 2, where they all have those little robotics and, kind of that weirdo. You can imagine they're going to get the modifications at the, in that Back to the Future 2, and that's kind of remind me of. And yeah, it just seemed, or I don't even know what it would be, like cyberpunk or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
That's exactly what
yeah,
I was thinking. Is like basically a cyberpunk world, and it's just not that doesn't have its place, but it doesn't have its place in Star Wars to me. It's not Star Wars.
yeah.
It was
It's
that
definitely,
was the one turn off for the episode for me. Other than that, I thought the episode was much better than the last one.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny though when we're thinking about Fennec getting found by Boba Fett. We obviously knew about that or figured that was going to be the case, but I didn't look back to see if the boot matched the scenario from the Mandalorian to like what Boba Fett's boot. I would hope they wouldn't overlook that little detail, but I feel like it was just I don't know if it was the same. I don't know.
I
Do you
honestly,
remember if
I
yeah,
didn't know, and I don't even care. Like that was such a that was so minute. Like they matched it up great. They
yeah.
probably odds are they probably did just because, but that little detail like that I don't care about as much. Especially
I'm always curious if
when I think the last lack of quality in the show is suffering. That's the last thing I'm worrying about.
yeah, I guess I just think of whether how far ahead they actually plan this or is this all on the fly, you know what I mean?
I'm guessing they had some of this planned.
Yeah. Oh, and they very well could have, but yeah, I mean, I guess to kind of see, kind of skipping a little bit here with Fennec and her making the decision to work with Boba Fett, right? Um, first she's like, nope, I'm out of here. We're bounty hunters, we're assassins, we're moving. I gotta leave, basically, right? But she kind of changes her mind like halfway through there. So um, must really kind of like working for or with Boba Fett, not really for, but with Boba
Yeah,
Fett, right? I
and
guess
I was
that's the
actually going
key
to ask you
word.
why do you think she decided to stick around?
Well, you got to think that after, I mean, if we're just kind of speculating on assassins or bounty hunters, they kind of got to get a little bit bored of the same old routine, right? Um, no close allegiances, right? Because I mean, really, like you're a mercenary, so you're basically going from town to town or job to job, mission to mission, and I would think that would probably be taxing after a while, right? Um, just like we're seeing with Boba Fett, kind of like I got to do something different, right? So he's setting up shop on Tatooine, right? And then we have his right hand person is Fennec Shand. So it's kind of cool. I actually kind of don't mind that.
I don't mind it.
It's
I'm trying to just wrap my head around reasoning behind certain character
mhm.
moves and obviously you want character progression, of course, but I still want reasoning behind it, and I still search for the meaning behind it. If there is no meaning behind it, then it's kind of empty for me. So
Yeah,
uh, I don't find this one necessarily empty. I'm just trying to figure out what really truly drew her in, because you could kind of see it coming. Like, and obviously we knew it was
yeah,
happening because it
well,
does happen, but
yeah.
just trying to wrap my head around the reasoning why she decided to make the move and stay with him.
But do you think that maybe she has an ulterior motive? You know, like
It's possible, but I think that the way they've done her character now and the way she's progressed, it would be a big twist if she did have an ulterior motive.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I just get that feeling that she's kind of a good. Well, I'm trying to see one of the good guys because she was a bounty hunter. She's, I guess she can still be a badass good guy, right? So, um,
Maybe a few more scruples than other bounty hunters, right? So
well, some are just about the bounty and that's it, and they don't give two shits about anything else. They're
mhm.
there to collect their money. They're there to kill or take them dead or alive. It doesn't matter. And I kind of like I like actually like to see them uh, bring some more of that in with maybe other characters, just so you can kind of see what
Yeah.
most bounty hunters are kind of like, and because obviously before this series, or even before the Mandalorian, a lot of us probably thought that that's kind of how Boba Fett was, and now we're
Yeah.
seeing a completely different side. So I like to see the different aspects and the different thought processes behind it. Um, I definitely want to see more bounty hunters who are just out for
Uh,
bounties and can cut
yeah.
throat and willing to do whatever it takes just to get the bounty because they're all about the glory and the money and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Um, and I agree. Like if you think about even with Fennec, I was thinking about the backstory or the different type of bounty hunter she might be. Because you remember in the Bad Batch when she was after to try and collect Omega, and so she had kind of softer side to her, trying to help Omega out versus the ruthlessness of just like delivering Omega for the money.
Yeah.
I think so. That's that different side of Fennec than maybe some of the other bounty hunters. But I do agree that I think with the other bounty hunters, you're going to have some of them are just obviously more ruthless. I mean, um, Black Chrysanthemum here, he seems like he's a gladiator, right? So he's a little bit more ruthless. He's kind of here's my bounty. I'm going to go collect it, and I'm ruthless. I'm going to tear you apart, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And leading into that, like we had mentioned before, saying that wouldn't be surprised if he joined up with Boba Fett, and lo and behold, there we are, right? So
And
I really
did he join
I
up?
like that scene.
Did he really join up, or do you look at it differently as almost like it's almost like a Wookiee life debt, almost the way he because
Possibly,
Boba Fett let him go, right? So
yeah, and then it could be kind of like, hey, yeah, you know what? I guess I'll come work for you.
I think he feels like he owes him. Maybe I think he maybe does have that part of the Wookiee
Yeah,
tradition maybe still in him. That's kind of what I was thinking that that because the Wookiees do owe life debts and they honor that no matter what. And
yeah,
I just kind of thought maybe that was the reasoning behind it, and maybe he doesn't want to
yeah,
necessarily, but that's he's got that code that he'll live by.
yeah, and that very well could be. I mean, it's kind of a neat idea. It could be a bit of a tense relationship. He seems a little bit out of control sometimes. I mean, he ripped apart those Transdotians there pretty good,
And I'm
in
glad he did
the
it because like
yeah,
it would have been kind of disappointing if he would have just little gave into the speech, right? And kind of that's the
yeah,
last thing you think that a badass Wookiee would do. Plus, he's a bounty hunter. He's gonna do what he
yeah.
wants to do, and he did.
Well, and exactly, and those two species hate each other, right?
Yeah.
So it's so I mean, for him to rip the arm off and beat those guys up, I mean that was good. I thought that was well played, anyways, in the story.
Are we going to
Um,
see any of these other crime lords join up with Boba? Are they just going to stand in the background? You think?
I think they're going to need a push, right? Maybe you have the Pike Syndicate forcing their hand a little bit because they're trying to stay neutral.
Because
And
I think a lot of these guys are thinking, for starters, that okay, yeah, we don't want to get involved, and but the Pike Syndicate's not going to just stop at whatever. Like they're going to try and take over this whole place. So that means they're going to take over these kinds of
exactly,
crime lords. So I think they're going to realize that they're going to have to come together at some point.
yeah, that's exactly. And I think they're going to have to come together and work together. Like if you think about the entire Star Wars lore, there's always tentative relationships, right? Like alliances that are not really like full-time alliances, but they people get together and help take out the bigger threat, right? um and I think so that's kind of where these guys would be, hey, we'll be forced to kind of work with you because the Pike Syndicate's going to want to take the whole planet over, so we're going to get involved, we're going to help you out, Boba Fett, and we'll sort ourselves out at the end of when the dust settles, right? So I
And
think that could be a big thing.
did you notice the big? I won't call it a reveal. Did you notice the music towards the end of the show?
You know, I kind of thought it sounded familiar, but I didn't really look into it. I didn't do any research on it. So I mean, you obviously got something there. What are you thinking?
That was the Mandalorian theme.
Oh, see, you thought that way. Okay, all
So
right.
I'm guessing we're getting Din Djarin in the next episode or two, so that'll be one
Well,
for sure. He's obviously going to get him back to help, and
yeah.
really, where's that going to lead to? Because is that going to lead into the third season of the Mandalorian then, or where do we go?
Well, maybe.
If he's going to be involved in this, are we going to get more of a mishmash beyond this to deal with Mandalore as well? With the with the black saber, is Boba Fett going to become involved in that too? So this could
maybe,
really expand into both shows.
They're helping each other, kind of crossover style, and
it could be.
you know, and when Fennec said that maybe there's some other people she could contact, I mean, I guess I didn't immediately think about Mandalorian or
even the Bad Batch.
You know, people, or the Bad Batch or Bo-Katan. I don't know. But the other one, I was saying maybe there were some other bounty hunters that she was maybe referring to.
Maybe we might get a big battle here, a big war.
Yeah, like I'd love, like I told you, I remember last week we talked about it. I'd love to see Dengar. I don't know. He's just the one guy I want to see as a bad guy or a bounty hunter on the big screen. You know,
I'll say at this point, I almost want to see a separate show for bounty hunters at this point. I don't almost really want to drag him into this because I hate to say it, but I think you almost would ruin him with this show because this show is going in a different direction than I think we'd want bounty hunters to be. I would love to see some bounty hunting show or with characters with the bounty hunters and do it kind of badass like it should be done. So I don't know how they're going to fit in here. I'd love to see them, but I think I'd rather see them on their own series or something.
And you're probably closer to right, more likely Mandalorian, or someone from that crew, right? You know, like I think
his music did play, so
yeah, that would make more sense, definitely, if you have that scenario set up. And you know, the two shows, Boba Fett appeared in The Mandalorian. Why not flip it up and have it that way, right?
Well, things are going to happen maybe because we only have 2 episodes left.
Yeah, so I mean, we're gonna have to see some sort of big thing. Maybe it won't be. Well, you know what? Maybe it will be next episode with Mando. I mean, that's very very possible.
It's gonna pick up here quick. So I think we're done with the flashbacks and everything else. So yeah, I think they have to resolve this show basically in 2 episodes, unless it's gonna spill over into another series.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, I think we're on the home stretch, and I think it's got to, you know, we always lead up to that big finale where something happens. You know, we get the huge cameo or the huge, you know, what happens now kind of moment, and you know, so we need a bit of a setup for this, you know, this next episode, and then pay us off in the very end, and hopefully it's a good one.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens in the next episode.